thing is, Jonathan, is the enemy doesn't de-ward, so I don't need to try those sneaky spots. Just put it right in the middle of the box. No problem. I know the other mid's not going to buy a sentry, John. Come on, we're in Southeast Asia. They're not going to buy wards. They don't know what those are. So let's get started with this laning stage, shall we? Mid lane, of course, Mikoto is going to be against Lelouch, the Quap versus Storm matchup, which, you know, back in the day, John, you'd argue that Quap should be heavily favored in this matchup. Do you think it's still kind of the case here against the Storm?
I think it still is. Like, Quap has a good time just clearing out the wave, harassing back with a Scream of Pain. You could always go for the Shadow Strike as well, get some constant DPS and a little bit of healing on yourself. There's not much a Storm can do about that. Storm can't threaten with a Vortex at level 3 as well for the double overload hit, so you don't have that early laning spike for the Storm. That should mean Lelouch should have a pretty manageable lane. Rune control is important, but again, you also have the blink value point for Lelouch once he's 4 if he wants that, and should lead to an easier time just getting all the region he wants there.
Have a look at the side lanes as well. Of course, bot lane, Nevermind and Xavier's going to be against Hyde and Savage. Love to see me some Enchantress. Of course, the hero was nerfed recently in terms of the enchant. You have to be a little bit more careful as to what creeps you do enchant. And in fact, Hyde is actually going to go right into the heal rather than going for the level 1 enchant. And well, I kind of agree with that. You are up against DK and Grimstroke with the Medusa.
Quap has a better time. Lelouch does go for level 2 Shadow Strike, but that just means Mikoto can't even walk up to the creep wave to drop a Remnant to clear it out. So it's tougher for him to find that CS, and that should lead to a strong start for Lelouch. Even if it doesn't amount to too much CS, it should be a lot of EXP going his way.
Hyde gets caught out there down a bot lane, John. Xavier's able to land with the Inkswell into the Stroke of Fate and does go for the first blood here on the Grimstroke, so happy days for him. A very nice start here against the Enchantresses. This is meant to be a lane dominant kind of hero, but giving away first blood like that, not going to feel very good for Hyde.
Yeah, it's not the start you'd want. I think you're still getting what you seek, though, guys. You're having an easier time for Savage in comparison to Natsumi.
Yeah, Natsumi going to try and go for a run, but does get caught out by the Scatter Blast of Q. Right on the edge.
You blink up, and that's just going to cut even more resources away from Mikoto. He's still not having a great time mid. He's finding his own CS. He is going to need some good rune control here.
Hyde, bot lane again. Did try to back off in time, but no, he's going to get caught out a second time as Xavier's. Going to give him a second tip already during this laning stage. Another pretty rough affair for Hyde.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Like, you're not playing with enchant, you don't have the large camp to play with, all the impactful creeps aren't showing up for you because you haven't gotten D-ward. Xavius is just able to play with that doubled stun. Just Dragon Tail into Inkswell every time. You can just find a nice, easy kill. Hyde does work his way towards mid, not really able to give a bottle equal to Mikoto, but Mikoto does find a water and get some good damage onto Lelouch.
The Savage, he'll remain on half HP. Just really going to try and avoid that initial stun out from Nevermind now.
Have to play safe, hold the lane, just keep farming up. Hyde does have a level 2 enchant, so he could try to be aggressive. Still doesn't have his large camp, though. Has a sentry on hand. It does feel like we're skipping past that point where the early creeps are going to have massive for both sides. Neither side really finding a massive win so far from laning. You could argue Talon's having a slightly better time with the kills. Again, not the biggest lead, so still have a lot to play for here.
Mikoto after TMV now.
Slow working towards zones BKB. The good news for Polaris, though, they've got some room to shove in bot with the dragon form up in Nevermind, but he's not in the safest spot right now if Talon does want to commit. Mikoto's still hanging around here.
They've got backup though. Hyde. He's focused down first. They are going to move in with the Inkswell, but Mikoto right into the Dragon Knight with the Mortar of Kisses. They've got plenty of damage. They'll take him out. So Mikoto, he wants Xavius as well. They completely ignore Natsumi. They'll let the Jug run. He had the spin available. But Mikoto setting up for a double here on the Storm. Just doing God's work.
Dire's top tower is under
towards the mid they go. Savage getting it stunned up. It's a great target if they can take it down with the Sonic Wave double damage. Everything been thrown at Savage. He's still alive. Mikoto, he'll make the jump in. They found Lelouch. On the Queen of Pain, he is gone. This TMV, he's going to try to run. So will the rest of the team, but Polaris is now their 6k net worth behind. You heard Fear on that panel, John. The net worth is more important than drafts, that's for sure. We saw last game as well as now Xavier's going to get caught out, but in the meantime, Savage and Mikoto, they're going to move it onto Nevermind. They'll try onto the DK. Nevermind, he's not really that tanky. He does get taken down, no problem. At the very least, Xavier's gets himself out in the Grimstroke, but
I think he had 40 HP right as he split on the edge, but if you don't find those kills, you commit a lot in Mikoto. Looking for a turn.
Right, silence is there. Mikoto gonna pop his BKB, does opt to go after Xavius instead. We'll take it. Another BKB charge going down, but he's certainly making great.
More in all of these engagements, and Talon knows that. They can choose to be aggressive with just 3 heroes on board and try to pull that smoke.
Oh, Lelouch getting stunned up in big trouble. Is gonna try and make it through this one, but there's so much damage to come out. Mikoto able to take another on the storm, and they might just be able to keep going. TMV, Xavius, they do back off at the right moment, but they've lost their mid-quap.
Just a little bit more presence in the middle of these fights and a little bit of quicker farming as well coming true for the Chug. Mikoto hanging around up top. He is playing near areas of control. There's some good vision here from Polaris, so has to be a bit cautious on this storm.
Oh, they see him. Mikoto getting it stunned up. This would be a massive pick-off for Polaris now. They've got him. Something they desperately need.
Savage, again, just soloing this, knowing that no one's going to be able to contest him on that DOTA. Takes a tier 1 for free. He's going to TP out. They're forcing fight up top.
Yeah, they've got the Coddle once again. TMB dying for the 5th time this game as they go for a bit more. Never mind. Going to try for the TP out. Should be able to make it just fine and does. Going. No problems here for the DOTA. They're just casually going to wait for someone to try and jump in onto the DOTA as Savage. They'll finally get jumped by Nevermind. They've got to commit though. Natsumi, he's going to try with the spin out, but it does nothing. They've only burnt through the mana of Savage. He's still got the Aegis up and ready to go. He's going to stick around for that mid lane of Barracks. They've committed nothing thus far, Natsumi. He's going to try again, and this time they might find the Aegis, and they will. That's 1 life. The mid barracks, though, falling very low down. It looks like they might even just try to deny it off, and they will. TMB, he'll deny himself. You've got to take every win you can get, John, and that's a win for the side of Polaris right now. At a tower. Nothing really stopped them doing that, and you have the Medusa. There's just no rush. Mikoto, he's going to dip right through by himself onto the Dragon Knight. Never mind, he's taking a fair bit of damage here. Is the cookie's going to land as well? Savage, he's got the control. In the meantime, though, KP gets off, but with a big Sonic Wave, they might have him, and they do. They've got the Brewmaster down, but Savage, he'll just keep going. Natsumi needs a way out of this, but it looks like he's got nothing to get out. He's probably just going to drop a no the Glimmer Cape. It does allow him to spin his way out just in the nick of time. Instead, they'll go after Nevermind. They'll go for the dieback on the Dragon Knight, and they might just have him. Nevermind trying to fly away, but he is going right back down. Dieback for Nevermind.
Damn, they take back the outpost. There's a minute left until Roshan. The Dark Portrait is doing a lot of work if they can't burn it down fast enough on Talon's end. And they've got to respect that output. They've got to respect the fact that Savage has a ton of farm that can work against him, although Natsumi's far forward.
Yeah, onto the Coddle. That'll be TMB gone. Natsumi in the meantime, he's going to be able to spin TP up.
Spawn back, Polaris. They've got to find an angle that works here, Mike. We've seen them win a couple of these team fights now, but that was on the high ground. Going out of their base, trying to get into that Roche pit's a lot tougher. They are grouped up for it with a smoke, though.
They are. They're going to try, but the Roshan has been halted as KP is going to break the smoke. Again, 2 primal split charges, but they're going to try and blow him up before that even happens. Mikoto, he'll go into the backside, trying to get the Brimstroke and KP. He'll get the primal split off. They are in trouble once again here for Polaris. Nevermind is going to drop. He does not have buyback. Natsumi, he'll go for the Omni Slash, but it's not doing too much to them. Q with the Yules, does save himself. Natsumi trying to get out of there, but Mikoto's going to jump right back in with the Vortex out. TMB and Xavius is gone. Natsumi, he's the only one left. In fact, they've got Lelouch around with a big Sonic Wave, but it's not going to do nothing. It does absolutely nothing.
Try to catch Talon off their guard here.
Polaris try and find a way into this fight. It's very tough, and what a great scan out. Smoke broken, they're going to have to try hide. He's got the Glimmer Cape out. They'll still try to focus him down, but Savage is going to get right to work. Vortex is down. Mikoto, he's got all 4 of them, and they are just going to melt. Oh boy, Mikoto! Right in the middle. They found Natsumi as well. I mean, you don't have to call it, but it's pretty rough after that one, John.
Oh, it's a rough one. They've got buybacks, no Omni Slash and Natsumi means he can't really do much in the middle of this next fight. Doesn't have the Ag for the Swift Slash, doesn't have his Basher up yet. He is going to be forced to buy back. That might be enough to put Talon and, you know, play it a little bit more safe, go for the tier 3 down bot and Rax instead. They're still in a very strong position. Next split still about 20 seconds away. But you still have the Aegis for almost 3 minutes here on Savage. He has a lot he can play for.
Certainly so. It's a very hard defense now. Polaris, they're going to try and move in as Natsumi chips away a little bit, but you've got the Aegis up on Savage.
Outscale them if they use this opportunity on the high ground, but you don't want to get chances.
Got a regen rune available, Mikoto, John. It's such a hard team fight now. And they jump Savage with the swift link. It's right to work. Never mind in the meantime trying to deal with the Brewlings, but here comes Mikoto again with the Vortex out. He's got the Grimstroke. The kisses are there to boot. Polaris, they're just trying to get back to the fountain, but they can't even do that. Maybe they find Mikoto, but no, the Clever Cave. It's going to save the day as Natsumi. He can't get the job done. He'll try onto Q. Just get the Snapfire, but not even that's going to happen. Q will survive. Judd's gone. Nevermind is gone, and it seems like Polaris are gone. Tips out for Xavius. Xavius, to be fair, John, he was tipping a lot during that laning stage. You're paid for it. If they finally lose to Boot, that's over. Talon have got the 2-1 victory here against Polaris Esports for their Series 1 of the SCA DPC 2 and number 3. And I'm sure I'm about to see a very, very happy John xfire.
You will, Mike, and you'll see a very happy set of